Hello, good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome and thank you for watching Happy Life tonight. Tonight's topic is changing the world with Happy Life. Many people want to change this world. As you can see, a lot of politicians changing our world every single day. Some wealthy people, artists, musicians, many people can change our daily lives with their influences, with their contribution. Some are positive influences. Some might not be. Because when you look at some other countries in this world, talking about war, disasters, and unwanted and unpleasant events. And if they are tragedy from natural disasters, we all can understand and feel sorrow for the victims. But if those unfortunate events were created by human beings, then those tragedies, I hope we can minimize it, and hopefully, eventually, we can eliminate all those conflicts. But unfortunately, this world is not simple. What you want and how you want it is not what other people want and not what other people wish for. So we have to be careful. In the old days, we try to compromise because we thought at one time compromising was the strength of America, was the strength of the best of negotiators. As you look at politics today, look at the world with our leaders, our counterparts, or maybe some what we call challengers. We don't want to call them enemy. Well, but sometimes we feel like that they are our enemy because they will do things to try to harm us, harm the American people, and create a lot of chaos. Well, our President Trump has been doing a pretty good job in changing this world. Some see it as positive, some see it with a different perspective. But you cannot take a lot of credit away from him because, as you know, not only that he talked a lot, he worked a lot, and he did a lot. Either they are positive or not, he's a hard-working man. And I have not get a chance to read his book, The Art of Whatever the Deal, or, that I heard that he was one of the best negotiators. And he went to Korea and talked to the leader of North Korean. And to me, it reminded me a story that I heard when I was a child. And I would like to share that story with you, and you tell me how you think and what does it mean in today's world. There were two armies back in the old days. They were separated by a river. One group of the army is called Chow Chow, and the other group of the army is called Yang Yang. Chow Chow and Yang Yang been fighting against each other for decades. But this time, they want to fight until the last person standing. So, they were separated by this river. But nobody want to make the first move. As you know, the old days, they say, patience is the virtue. Whoever talk first or act first are the losers. So nobody want to make a move. And then one captain from the Chocho side and said, Yang Yang, your army is so good, but we're going to beat you. But why don't you send your army to come to us and take attack to our defense? Yang Yang said, well, that might be a good idea, but you know what? If we come in to attack you, we have to come over the river. And in the meantime, you can destroy us, and many of my soldiers do not know how to swim. I cannot take that chance. Why don't you send your troop over the river so that we can start fighting? Chow Chow's army said, oh, no. We just have to wait it out. Yun Yun's army said, okay, we can wait all day. We got all the food in the world, so do you. And they did wait and wait and wait. Finally, Yun Yun's army said to Chow Chow, he said, we want to fight and we want to come over because we don't want to wait any longer. We are running out of patience. But in order for me to come over, you must back off for about 2 miles so that I can send my group of army come to your place. If you win, all my army will be destroyed because we are back against the water. But when you lose, you can always run away. So I think you will be upper hand. Am I right? Well, after a day of discussion, and the army of Chow Chow said, why not? We're going to back off 2 miles so that your army can come on land and then we can start fighting. What the Chow Chow army was hoping is that while they are coming halfway, we can start attack them, then we are in control. Well, after they back off 2 miles, they sit and wait, but no move from Yang Yang's army. They send a messenger coming close to the river and yell across the river and said, I thought you were coming. Yun Yun's army said, yes, we are coming, but 2 miles not enough. I need you to move back another mile. Well, since this army already retracted for 2 miles, it's not that difficult to went back for another mile. Am I right? So the request does not seem to be unreasonable. So this messenger went back and told the general and said, well, Yun Yun's army request that if we can back off another mile, they will send a troop. They said, all right, well, that seems to be a good and fair request. We can back off another mile. While all the horses were turning and went back for another mile, and all of a sudden, the arrows and the drums and the music and the yelling and shouting will come off from the other side of the river. What they said was, Chocho are losing. They are running away. They are losing. Well, the people in front, knowing that there was no enemy, even come close to them. But the people in the back, when they hear these drumsticks from the opposite side, the noise, the drum, the flags, the arrows, and forthcoming, and they thought the front line had been destroyed. So everybody started running. When they were retracting, ladies and gentlemen, as you can understand and foreseen, your back is with your army that you don't see. And the people behind you are the one that they were your peers, and the one in front of you, they were running away because they don't know what's going on. They thought they were losing the war. So that rippling effect of running, and the people that in the back or in the middle with horses, of course they are going to run faster than human legs. So there's a lot of miscommunication with all those noise. A lot of those soldiers were injured or even got killed. Union's army did not even spend one single life and destroy 50% plus of the army of the other side. So Churchill had to surrender. What that story taught us today with that old ancient wisdom of making a deal, applicable to what we were doing and working with North Korea. You see, before our president, Mr. Trump, visited North Korea, their relationship with Russia, China, or maybe with the neighborhood countries were not very close, because a lot of people don't know who they are, what they do, and only knowing that they were a very poor and small country in Asia. But they do have the capability of building what we call atomic missiles. They were capable, and they were almost capable to deliver far, far away, or maybe they already done that. That is a major concern of our country, and also a major concern to a lot of other countries in this world. So Mr. Trump tried to change the dynamic of this world. So he tried to set up a summit. And after that, ladies and gentlemen, you know what's going on. We didn't get a chance to go very far with the negotiation. But the recognition, the reputation, the openness of that country is all of a sudden is revealed to the world. Once you sit down with your counterpart, start negotiating without committing on a platform and written contract, and start talking, and that is something maybe not as effective as what we wish for. Is it bad? I don't know. Nobody can tell the future of the history, because the history is only reflecting what we learned in the past. But what I can tell you is that we did a great service to North Korea. We are trying to change the world, and North Korea tried to change themselves. By having an opportunity to talk to our president, for more than many countries, we view our president as one of the most powerful men in the world and in our planet. When you have a chance to sit down with him, with one-to-one, shake hands, and agree on something intangible, he can utilize that opportunity and solidify that his leadership in his own country and make a name for his own country. He opened a lot of windows, might not be the door yet, for economic opportunity and growth. I'm not saying that we should shut them out. All I'm saying that is we, average people, politicians, artists, musicians, athletes, even soccer players, each one of us can make our share of the contribution and make a difference in changing this world. Now, if we are not the wealthy people, we are not able to donate $1 billion to the charity group, if we are not the Democrats, that we can build and post more funding to build hospitals and help the elderly to get better health care. And if we are not the Republicans and help to secure our borders and allow our citizens to own more guns, if we don't have all those influences, how can we make a contribution and change the world? I might not have the best answer, but I do have my experiences and solutions that I can share with you as a small individual, that average citizen like myself, and hopefully you feel the same way, that you can make a difference in other people's lives, and we are able to change the world. See, a lot of time when we were in our youth, we felt we want to change the world. I want to be a politician. I want to be somebody special, wealthy. Yes, when you are holding that power, the money, and everything else, it's easier to make a lot of influences. With goodwill, you can change the world with positivities. But if you are just somebody working a job from 9 to 5, have a nice family, and if we still have that dream of the youth that we want to help other people and changing our lives, our families' lives, our friends' lives, our neighbors' lives, and the people that we know, and keep them and living a happier life and changing this world that way. You see, we only can move one little step each time as an average human being. But God gave us the share equal opportunity. It's about our vision, our choice, regardless where you come from, even from the third world country, or even from the poorest country that where I came from when I was a young child. We find happiness, we find satisfaction with the hardships. Where we are not able to find happiness is that we are not overcome our memory. We are not able to pay forward with our disasters, our tragedies. We cannot change the past, but we can move forward with our past attitude for our future. So, tonight's topic is changing the world with happy life. Not with power. I understand that you have power, you can change this world in a much larger scale, good, better, worse. Or if you are wealthy, you can contribute and help a lot of people around the world with vaccines, food, health care, and you name it. Of course, we want to thank you for their love, their contribution, their power, and also their influences to better our human lives. But we talk about grassroots. If every one of us can do our job, keep ourselves happy, keep our family happy, and in turn, that rippling effect is able to get it to a larger population, community. And that little contribution with a smile is worth more than you can imagine. And by doing so, you don't know what you can affecting the next person next to you, or even you don't know. Or maybe even not knowing, because that positive influences may not happen until 1,000 years later. Only because your smile, your kind words, your heart, or willingness to share a happy life. A lot of people said, if I'm not happy, how can I share a happy life with other people? But life is not about you, it's not about me, it's all about how we can live a little bit better for ourselves and for our loved ones. By trying to improve a little bit at a time, we can make a change, a positive change. And let me show you how we can do it, even though we are not a politician. Ancient wisdom taught us, when you help ourselves by helping other people, you see, when you're receiving help or when you're helping others, you find a lot of happiness. Have you ever helped other people? At the end of the day, you find happy, right? Have you ever receiving help? When you got help, don't you feel so thankful, so appreciative, and you know that you have a second chance. Would that make you feel happy? When you're helping people, what are the great ingredients that you need in your dictionary, that you practice every day, that you can help others? One of the words is, when you help others, don't think or don't hope that help, that good kindness will ever come back to you. But many times, even though you don't wish for it, a helping hand, your love, they will come back in a stream of happiness. They will come back in tenfold. But when you ask for it, when you have expectation, then that help is no longer called help. That called using. That called selfishness. So when you help other people, don't hope other people will pay back your kindness. When you share your help with other people, always share it with respect, with a smile. And let me tell you why. My mother, when she was living in China, it was experiencing a World War II. Japan invaded China and turned China to red, became communism, because for 8 years, the bombing, the running, the killing, there's no food, cultivation, agriculture benefits, because people keep running around and try to avoid the war and avoid getting killed. So there were no productivities in many cities and counties and even villages. It just happened that my mother's family was basically better off than the average people. So one day, there was someone, because they lost their wealth and not on my mother's home. My mother was just a young girl at the time, in her teens, so she did not know better. And one of the servants listened to the door calling, and in China at that time, the door was very, very thick because they want to protect their home, and they were surrounded with walls, so no one can climb over. So when they hear about this big knock, they asked the person who knocked the door, and who was it, and how can we help you? This person said, I was running against the enemy. I'm very hungry and I need help. Can I come in, or can you share a meal with me? The servant said, we cannot open the door because right now is not a safe place. And we are afraid that we open the door and we allow other people come in, we'll be put our lives in danger. But then this person asked, can I get some food from you? And the servant went to the kitchen and packaged some food and threw it over the tall wall for this person. The next morning was quiet. So the servant opened the door as a routine to get some fresh air and see what's going on out there, to get in touch with the world. But suddenly, she discovered there was a dead body near the stairway. She was a little in shock and scared and reported to the master, which is my grandfather. See, this is a dead person. Right in front, laying next to the stairway. My grandfather stepped out there and saw a note. This note said, I won't take the food like a beggar. See, what happened was, the servant thought if I can give them or give him some food, that's generosity, that's helping, save your life. But the person received the food, he felt like if you throw it over through the wall, above the wall, and land it on the ground, and expect me to eat it, his pride is overruling his hunger. He would rather die and not taking the food. It taught me, my mother learned that lesson, and when she shared that story with me, it taught me so much, because she said, after that event, the master, which is my grandfather, told the servants and the rest of the family members, respect each person with the utmost respect. You don't know when we need help. My mother shared that story with me when we were young. But right after the Second World War, China turned red. My grandparents and their 5 children had to escape it from mainland China, away from the communists, and they went into Hong Kong. That's in the late 1940s. At that time, Hong Kong was not even developed yet. Hard to find job, hard to find food, and because my grandfather were pretty wealthy, he did not have a lot of skills. He could not find job in Hong Kong. So my grandfather and my grandmother, they passed away shortly after they arrived in Hong Kong. But the lessons that we learned never gone away. Their experiences became our experiences. And I wrote a book called H.A.P.P.Y.L.I.F.E. Each lesson that we learn is like a few raindrops. Collectively, they become a sea of experiences. I want you to learn from my experiences because I want you to make a difference and change in this world with the best that you can. Do I want to change in this world? Of course. When I was young, I hoped I can change the world. But with a little help from everybody, that mission is much more easier to accomplish than if you try to change this world by itself. What it taught me is that our ancestors, they paved the way with the experiences and the education, with what God giving to us. God is there for us to thank Him for what He already done and help us. And we should pay forward and not to ask God to continue to give us for more. That is the philosophy that I have learned when I was reading the Bible. When I was reading and understand the religions of different countries and from different format. Regardless, you are going to the right or to the left, God makes this world wrong and wrong. Have the positive, have the negative, have the God, have the evil. Everything trying to find an equilibrium and find a balance. It's up to you, ladies and gentlemen, how you choose which path that you want to go. But at the end of the day, come back to the end of that circle and go around and around and around and around and around and around again with the same purpose. We are trying to make a difference in our lives, regardless what we do. Regardless if it's right or wrong, all we try to do is just try to struggle to get a better and happier life. For us, for me, for you, for loved ones, and for the people around us. You don't care if you hurt other people, as long as you are above the water, as long as you get good food, and as long as you get rich. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is our ancestor, God, Bible, already written a platform how we can make this world better to live in, how we can live a happy life. If you don't believe me, look at the next letter of happy. When you help other people or receiving help, which is H, you find happiness. When you are having a positive attitude, see, attitude is all about within. I didn't have a good attitude when I was young. It took a lot of losses, a lot of learning, and a lot of defeat to have a positive attitude. But once you have a positive attitude, ladies and gentlemen, you have more positive energy. You have better outlook. You can walk back a little bit and see the world better. When you change your negative attitude into positive attitude, you have more energy, more productive, more willing to help people. Yes, you can change the world. You can change the world with a positive outcome because you can turn the negative impact into positive outcomes with a positive attitude. Let me share with you another story about how and why and what I think about the importance of attitude, how it can change your lives and my lives. When I facing a lot of difficulties, I took a deep breath and I said, thank God. I got free water, I got free oxygen. Because without oxygen, we cannot live. Yes, we have to pay for the service, for the water, but you know what? We don't have to pay for the rain. They help us to grow, and they help us to cultivate, harvest. Streams, rain is good, moisturize the world. We got it for free. We need to breathe, we need the air. We need to flow, we need to fly. So everything that we need in this world is given by God. We just need to utilize it and appreciate it. So when I woke up in the morning, I had a very difficult time yesterday, or maybe last week, or maybe last month. I want to thank God because not only that I'm still living, I still have the oxygen. Think about it. If Bill Gates or maybe Warren Buffett have to pay for the oxygens that they take in every single day, every single moment, if you have to pay for it, the price will be huge. Even rich people will feel a big headache after if they have to pay for the oxygens that we receive each day. We got it for free. So when you think about the positive things, you can be living a happier life. After I had my strokes last August, I was down. Nobody's perfect. We got ups and downs, peaks and valleys. When we are down, we try to minimize the downtime. When you're happy, you want to last as long as you can, right? But when we are unhappy, we try to minimize and try to isolate each thing and see what if. So after I had my stroke, my right hand side was paralyzed, and my third day, my left hand side was paralyzed. I was unable to speak. I was not able to swallow, and I was concerned. I was not able to sit up. I had to push it on my side to find and balance. Otherwise, I would drag my body all the way to the right, all the way to the floor. That's how bad it was. But I want to thank God, continue to give me a right mind. I still was able to think. My hand still have some power. My left hand was tight, but I can move a little. I have no sensations on my left hand side. The nurse gave me shots through my little tummy. I did not even feel the pain. I pinch myself with my right hand. I don't feel anything. I scratch it, nothing. No temperature sensation. Then you know what I thought of? I thought one of my friends that when he was young, in his 20s, he went to a mountain and he was doing hiking. And he thought he was jump down to a 4 feet deep slope. But because the height, because the illusion, it was 12 feet on a piece of rock. He shattered up both his legs. He was in a wheelchair. When I met him, it was like 15 years later. He still had a very positive attitude. And I was trying to comfort him from time to time. He said, "Chin, don't feel bad for me." He said, "I don't have to pay for my shoes anymore." He tried to comfort me and tell me jokes that I don't want to hear. But I appreciate him. So after I had my stroke, I thought about my friend. And then I looked around and I realized that we just lost a great scientist, Mr. Hawkins, Dr. Hawkins. He just passed away not long ago. I was amazed what he can do with his knowledges when he was only living in a wheelchair. So the first thing came to my mind was, Lord, please keep me and give me a good mind, and I don't mind to be paralyzed. As long as I can think, I'm good with that. A miracle happened. I cannot ask for a miracle, but I can ask for myself to continue to have a positive attitude and continue to work with my therapist and work as hard as I can and find a way to rebuild my strength. And thank with all those helpers, doctors, nurses, therapists. With time, I was on the upswing and continue to heal. During my bad time, for about 7-8 months, my right hand faces like 1,000 pins hitting it every single moment, even when I was sleeping. When I was sleeping at night, a cold tear would wake me up in the middle of the night. My pillow was fully wet. I did not like it, but I learned how to live it. My left hand have no sensations. When I took a shower, I cannot use my left side to feel the temperature, I only can use my right side. When I wash my hair, one side was warm, the other side feels nothing. And now, 11 months later, I'm able to move around and my sensation gradually coming back. Not perfect, but can you tell me that I was struck 11 months ago that I was paralyzed on both sides? When we have a positive attitude, it helps us to improve ourselves. After you had a major issues, either wrongdoing by other people, illnesses, or unfortunate events, the economy, or something happened that you don't want to happen to you or other people. How do we overcome those tragedies? Even with past attitude, sometimes is not the answer to all those unfortunate events. That's where the patient needs to come in to help us. You see, when you have patience, time is our best medicine. Try to understand things better. Patience is our most powerful inner strength. If I tell you I have a lot of patience, I'm lying to you. I don't have patience. Because patience is a virtue. It takes a lot of practice. When you are busy every single moment, or if you are overly passionate, your ability of having patience is very limited, believe me or not. But when we learn to be patient, we learn how to understand other people better. When we learn how to forgive and forget with patience, when we learn how to be patient with our younger generation and take time and take care of them, smile to them with patience, and that patience will be rewarded in tenfold. Your younger generation, your children, your grandchildren will love you that much more because you spend time with them with patience. They learn from you. Now, there's something that I have strongly, I would like to share with you, which is passion. I'm not good with many things. I love to talk, but I might not be the best talker. But when you have passion, you find way to enrich your lives. You can go to heaven, and you might not find happiness unless you have passion. When you have passion, any place can be paradise. You learn how to love your surroundings. You learn to love your new job. You learn how to love people. If you don't find anything that you love and you cannot depend on anybody else, let's listen to the birds. Let's go out and look at the sun, look at the ocean, look at the mountain, look at the grass. Find something, a little something every single day that can enrich your life, that you can be passionate about. Some people like to play chess. Some people like to play music. I have learned one thing about patience from my wife. She is not always happy, just like everyone else. But when she is not feeling the way that she wants to feel, she loves to sing. She might not want to sing in front of people, but she would like to sing the song that she wants and appreciate. That will relax her attention. And in turn, when you have a happy wife, you have a happy life. So I don't necessarily do a lot for her, but I try to do things not to encumbrance of her wheels, of not allowing to do things that she wants to do. Life is about space. In order for you to keep a good relationship, you have to give them a little bit of space. And my space is very tight, but I can live with it. And my children and my wife say, you're always bossing everybody around because you care too much. But passion is part of caring. And I can do with that. But just take all the criticism, good, bad, or worse, and put them in one part and turn them into positive energy. You can laugh about it, but don't fight against it. But if you don't, just brush it off. That is how passion is all about. Learn something that you love, that you can depend on every single day, and try to clear your mind if you're unhappy. Well, if you're a politician, and if you are a salesperson, or if you are a lawyer or judge, or a nurse, there's a lot of things come through your life that you are not prepared to face. But think about if your environment, you feel like that, you are in hell. Don't worry, because you are in hell because the type of job that you do or the situation you are in. If you can improve your situation one step at a time, 1% each day, you can find happiness. Even though you're in hell, yes. The way I look at it is, if I were in hell, if I can build my foundation for my home, if I can put a toilet with my skill, if I can put the 4 walls, and if I find a way to put some air conditioning in there with a roof, hell can be earth. Now, if somebody in hell is suffering with the heat, the fire, unhappiness, if they come in to your home, you share your knowledge to help them to build a home, you can change the world, even in hell, and turn them to be earth. If one day God called you and say, look, Chin, you did a great job when you were in hell, now it's time to go to heaven. You can tell God, thank you for the opportunity. I had my passions in hell. The other people, all the people in hell, God, give me that mission. Allow me to stay in hell to help others so that make them feel like that they live in heaven. Because if I help them, that positive effect can be helping all others. And I set example in the name of Jesus, in the name of God. It's not about the place. It's how you see things. So yes, heaven is important, but the heaven can live in your heart too. When you think like that, while you're living every single day with hardships, you can overcome the obstacle better. You can like the world better. The world will become more brighter in your heart. See, the God sent our angels, our ancestors ahead of us. When you look at evil, E-V-I-L, and turn around, live, L-I-V-E, same letters. If you live, you are just like God. When you're not living, you are just like evil. I mean, when you live, it's not about your life. It's about your mind. Just like silent. When you listen, they spell the exactly same letters, just in a different order. When you are silent, you're able to listen. When you listen, you better be silent. Otherwise, they have conflicts. So we learn all this from ancient wisdom within the scope of the Bible, from our ancestors, neighbors, teachers, and family and friends. So HAPPY, we always talk about helping, attitude, patience, passion. The next letter is Y, is yes, we can. We learned it from our President Obama, say yes, we can. But it's so true. And I learned that when I first came to this country, and I told my teacher, Mrs. Greg, I can't do that. I don't understand English. How can I do my homework? And she said, son, yes, you can. That was when I was 16 and 17 years old. And yeah, indeed, I still fail English today, but a little bit better. Yes, I can learn. Might not be perfection, but I can learn. When you're able to say yes, don't you think you can build your confidence better? Do you think you can enrich your life better? Do you think that by saying yes, that I can, do you think you can enrich the people around you better? So have a positive attitude. Say yes, we can. That's happy. When I say, somebody say, hello, can you help me with this? When you say, yes, I can, don't you think everybody have more energy, more happier? So HAPPY is an acronym from learning from the Bible, ancestor, teachers, grandmother, and our ancestors. When you share your love, the love comes back in a stream of happiness. If you don't believe me, you don't have to love anybody. Just love your pet. Even a little pet, a little dog, a little cat, they know that you love them. They know that you care about them. When you love a child, they come back to you. Because not that only you make them happy. The process keeps you happier. When you say love, the love truly comes back in a stream of happiness. Try it sometimes. You don't have to try with the enemies. You don't have to try it with some strangers. But if you share your love unconditionally with the family that you love or the family or friends that you care about, they will strengthen your energy for love, for power. That's L. When you improve yourself, as what I said, after I had my cancer surgery, I left the operation table, woke up. The first thing I thought about is, if I can improve one step each time, 1% each day, I will be happy. See, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to hit a lottery to become happy. You can improve a little bit each time, economically, health-wise, or relationship-wise. Whatever that it takes for you to feel that extra improvement. If you learn how to kick soccer ball, or if you learn how to read, if you want to do math, anything, music, art, only improve one little bit at a time, you find happiness. All you do is just try it and think about it. Improve 1% each day, one step each time, you find a lot of happiness. Now, as you know, we have this executive power, we got abused executive power, we got, somebody come into your life and robbed you or even did something even worse. You got all these tragic events, tsunamis, major thunderstorms, all these things happen. But good thing happen to good people, good thing happen to bad people. The converse is that bad thing also can happen to everyone else too. So, when a bad thing happens to you, ladies and gentlemen, don't say life is unfair. Because life is unfair. When you say it does not change the fact life is unfair. But we cannot change the fairness. But we must face the unfairness. Life can be unfair to you and me, but we must be fair in life. When you understand that better, that anything can happen to anybody, you just find a lower floor, then breathe more, and reach out higher. The lower that you can get, you say, I can have more room to grow, that I can reach up further. That's fairness. Because fairness is a very unlogical thing to think about. Because we are comparing ourselves with other people when we think about fairness. But we all have different type of unfairness among human beings. The thing happened to you is fair, it might not be happen to other people, which is fair. Look at the World Soccer, which I enjoy watching because they were excited. You only watch it once every 4 years. And some games are better than other games, but some winner and some losers. And oftentimes you see the loser were crying. But what they don't see is like, oh, it's unfair because we played so well, we lost. The end result is what bothers people. But many people overlooking the process, the way that you get to the success. It's not about winning. Life is not about winning or losing, ladies and gentlemen. Life is about experiencing. When you do well with what you do, either you are on top of the mountain or the bottom of the valley, it's okay. Because we are not comparing ourselves with other people. The grass is always greener on the other side. When you understand that, life may not be fair to me. We must be fair in life. And continue to have faith. You will be a much happier person. You can change in this world because you are changing yourself. We cannot change all other people, but we can change our own attitude and ourselves. Now, that's H-A.P.P.Y.L.I.F. What's the E is all about? E is even more important because E is education. Education is the foundation of mankind. When we are learning and we are teaching, how can we be unhappy? When I'm sharing my experience with you, sharing you with my stories, I feel like I'm learning by teaching. When you're teaching, you're learning too. It's all about human pinnacle. When we have the mindset of learning and teaching, share our stories, share our experiences, all good or bad, we have to share stories because from one person's perspective, compared to other people's perspective, we all can learn from the same story and get different meanings and benefit ourselves and other people. Teaching is important. Who can imagine the teacher that can mold our presidents? Mr. Obama, Mr. Trump, or Mr. Bush, or Mr. Clinton. When the teachers taught them at the time, no one can foresee them become senators, congressmen, lawyers, or presidents of the United States. But their teaching might have some influences about their success and about their failures. So, be a positive teacher. Whatever that we try to do, set good examples, ladies and gentlemen. Continue to learn and teach. Thank you for watching. Happy life to all. We can work together and change the world.